A hard truth: you can't retain a woman who does not want to be retained. It really does not matter how much you shower her with love or how much you sacrifice. You cannot retain a woman who does not want to be retained. I have learned the hard way. And today I will tell you the story. Well, like this video and let us get into it. Giving everything a life built together. I gave her everything: a place that she could call home, a business they built from the ground up, and all the love and attention I had to give. I worked hard, not for myself, but for us. She lived the life that many only ever dream of, and when it came down to our level of intimacy, we were just fine. More than fine, actually. Anyone out there would say we had a marriage worthy of being envied. At least, that is what I thought. The question that ate at me. Then came the persistent questions. Why? Why would she choose somebody else? What was I missing? What was she searching for that I could not give her? We had everything, didn't we? I was always there for her. I wouldn't forget anniversaries or be distant. I gave my attention and affection daily. We talked very late at night, sitting together on the couch, sharing thoughts, dreams, frustrations, and even silly jokes. Seemingly, nothing was taboo. I thought we were fortunate to enjoy such enviable communication. If things had ever been wrong, why had she not brought them to my attention? The moment I found out, then I would learn the truth in the most cruel manner. I had just presented her with a new phone. I thought it would be a lovely surprise. On her part, there was constant bemoaning of her previous phone that lagged. She had deserved an upgrade. So I set it all up for her, transferring every file from the old phone onto this new phone so that she had no memories lost. Then just to be sure, I checked once more. And there I saw it, in an innocuous-looking folder. I clicked. The first video initiated, but my mind was slow comprehending what it presented. Then it hit me. It was her, and not just her, it was her with another man. The painful truth. I could not draw my eyes away from it. One video followed the next. They were all with the same man. The dates told a story I did not want to hear. This was no slip-up. It has been going on for over a year. In that one moment, my whole world fell apart. She was not the woman I had thought her to be. The calm before the storm. That evening, I handed her the new phone. Her face lit up with that smile she always gave when she was genuinely happy. She kissed me on the cheek and said, "Thank you. You're the best husband ever." In my mind, I screamed, "Best husband?" I looked at her and all I could think was, how many times had those lips kissed him? How many lies had she told lying with that same smile? But I didn't say anything, not then. I smiled back, nodded and said, "You deserve it." Planning my next move. For the next few days, I went into survival mode. I didn't cry, I didn't yell, I just went to work. The business we had built together, I could not let her walk away with half of everything I had worked so hard for. Quietly, I started moving things around. There was a trust one had set up years ago in case things went south. And I moved certain assets into it, ones she wouldn't easily access. I had no time for emotions. I was getting into preparations for the next stage. Confrontation, the moment of truth. I waited a full week before confronting her. I had to keep up the charade sitting across the dinner table, smiling at her, was painful, but I needed to ensure that I was ready. Finally, I told her to come into the living room. She could tell something wasn't right, but I didn't answer her questions straight away. I just told her to sit down, my voice calm, but cold. I turned on the TV, hooked up my phone and pressed play. The silence in the room was deafening. Her video with him appeared. The color drained from her face as she just stared, frozen. The denial came next. "Where did you get this?" She finally blurted out. "It's not what it looks like." I cut her off. "It's from your phone." I said, "I transferred everything myself." She was briefly at a loss for words, but then the tears came. The final step, divorce papers. She begged, apologized, and said she could change. She said it was a mistake, that she loved me. But I had no love for her anymore. I was awake to the truth, and the truth was unforgivable. I placed the divorce papers on the coffee table and told her, "You have a week to sign these. You can get a lawyer if you want, but let's not drag this out." Her tears morphed into panic, but I was now set in my mind. My escape, seeking clarity. The next morning, I packed my camping gear and left. I told nobody where I was heading. I really needed to get away from her, the home, and the life we had built. The woods were quiet, the air was fresh, and finally after weeks I felt lighter but not happy. I got my journal out, something I hadn't written in for years, and I began to write. I was grappling with the urge to stop, but I couldn't. Page after page, I wrote about and released all the pain, confusion, and anger I had been keeping in. And then the perspective shifted. My thoughts slowly changed from her to me, regaining my life. I sat and wrote those words, "I deserve better." From that moment onward, I knew rebuilding my life had begun. New future planning, some focus on business, new hobbies, and maybe even therapy. The divorce will soon be finalized. I wanted to come home and find the papers signed, the house empty, and her gone. I didn't want confrontation, but just to move on. The sweet bitterness parting. Just a few days later came a text from her. She said she would sign papers and leave like I have asked to do. There was no doubt in her mind about the good times we had, and she would just be begging me to reconsider. But if those times meant anything to her, she wouldn't have done this to me. She wouldn't have let a man come into the space we had created together. I wasn't sad that she was leaving, but there was a strange feeling of relief. Here I could reclaim my life and start designing my future, devoid of lies and deceit.